There's a UFC title fight for Conor McGregor that's more winnable than Chandler, says Double Champ. Henry Cejudo seems interested in a different fight for Conor McGregor than Michael Chandler. Okay, now when Triple C speaks, we listen, because as we all know, Henry Cejudo is very smart, and he understands his fight game in a very intellectual level, more than most people could ever understand. So we're going to listen to what he has to say, and we're going to give our opinions. Not that our opinion means anything, but we're just going to go with it. Henry Cejudo says Conor McGregor has a greater chance of defeating a current UFC champion than Michael Chandler. Nearly 2 years after suffering a broken leg in his loss to Dustin Poirier, the Notorious One is set to return to the octagon against Chandler, though at a different weight class. Is that confirmed? I'll keep reading. Instead of lightweight, McGregor vs. Chandler is set for welterweight, which confuses Cejudo, since his fellow former two-division champion says he wants a title shot with a win against Iron in their upcoming fight. If UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is his goal, then Cejudo questions why McGregor would accept this fight at welterweight. Well, it was kind of a similar situation to when Conor fought Cowboy. You remember when he said when he beats Cowboy at 170, he wants a title shot at 155. It's a very similar thing here, but I agree that this fight should be taking place at 155 if he wants to win the belt at 155. If Conor McGregor is looking to stay at 170, then we have a totally different discussion on our hands, and this is absolutely okay with me. But anyways, I'll continue reading. So, if he wins at 170, then he gets an automatic title shot at 155, said Cejudo on his official YouTube channel. You think that's fair? No, it's not fair. Not at all, but, I mean, money talks, right? Money talks. Henry Cejudo. Leon Edwards is a more winnable fight for Conor McGregor. Okay. That's interesting. I understand where Henry's coming from. I'll keep reading this because Henry is very analytical, so we'll see. However, the title shot for McGregor was referring to one against UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards, ahead of his third fight with Kamaru Usman at UFC 286 this past March. Rocky responded to McGregor saying he would want to fight with him next. But isn't that interesting how Leon Edwards is like, yeah, I'll fight Conor. But then when it's Colby Covington, who, I'm not saying Colby Covington deserves a title shot, but Colby Covington has more merit for a title shot over Conor McGregor, he doesn't want to fight that guy. It's because Leon understands, A, the money, but not only the money, that Conor's also a much easier fight than Colby Covington, right? Of course, Edwards was interested, saying, if it happens, it happens, but his primary focus was on the Nigerian Nightmare and the rest of the division. The 31-year-old went on to successfully defend against Usman, defeating him via majority decision, though other opponents such as Colby Covington and Bilal Muhammad are potential options for Edwards. Triple C says the promotion should also consider McGregor pending the result of the Chandler fight. Yes, it's true for the money they should consider it, but based on merit and, just sheer deservingness, Conor McGregor does not deserve a title shot. Not at all. I think Leon Edwards might be a more winnable fight for him than Michael Chandler, said Cejudo, because Michael Chandler may bring in that wrestling. He may bring in that All-American wrestling. He was an All-American wrestler for the University of Missouri, part of Ben Askren's, so he's been in these positions before. With Leon is going to be stubborn and try to keep it on the feet, continued Cejudo. I still think Leon could beat him, but I think if there's one fighter that he does have a better chance at, they're both southpaws, and it probably is with Leon Edwards. So, the only thing I disagree with here is what Henry Cejudo said, is the fact that Michael Chandler might also be just as stubborn and try to stick this out on the feet and, try to get this financial benefit. Because if Michael Chandler chooses to wrestle Conor McGregor for 5 rounds to a boring decision, nobody's going to care. But if Michael Chandler chooses to stand and bang with Conor, and it's a very entertaining fight, and we earn the respect of both guys, and they both show a lot of heart, that's a financial benefit for Michael Chandler, even if he loses, because he's going to be remembered as the guy who had this massive fight with Conor McGregor, and it was one of the all-time classics. So I think that's the only thing I would correct Henry on, but Henry's not wrong to say that Leon could be stubborn as well. A lot of fighters will be stubborn, because they, first of all, want to outstrike Conor. They want to outdo him in his own game. It's an ego thing. But not only that, but there's a financial benefit to standing with Conor McGregor. And I'll continue reading. When Henry Cejudo was retired, he spent most of his time assessing other fighters, including McGregor. The former two-division UFC champion even uploaded a video about what the Irishman needed to do to return to form. Though he would never coach McGregor, Cejudo still gave advice to the Irishman ahead of his return against Chandler. I think the biggest thing Conor could do is adjust his stance, said Cejudo at his UFC 288 media day. He's too heavy on that lead leg. He needs to go back to... He's not an attacker. Conor anticipates and he counters well. Start bringing people into you, man. Notice when he started getting a little too aggressive. He started coming in too forward and people started understanding his bluff. He throws too much power. I think he needs to go back to his analogy of precision beats power and timing beats speed. But his distance is off right now. His position's off. Okay. I can actually kind of agree with this, especially with what Conor did at UFC 257. Yes, Conor was much too heavy on that lead leg. He wasn't as bad in the Dustin Poirier trilogy. He did make some adjustments. He did check a couple kicks there even. So he's made the adjustments. He's understood this. But I do think that Henry is correct. He needs to go back to his countering ways, because even when Conor made the adjustments against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264, Conor is being overly aggressive, and he's throwing too hard. He's trying too hard to force a knockout. Just go back to just letting things work. Work your jab, work your left hand, but work with your counters, because that's when you were having the most amount of success. But I very much understand what Henry Cejudo here is saying. I do still think that Michael Chandler could potentially be an easier opponent, just because of Michael Chandler's lack of fight IQ. I don't know if he's as big as Leon Edwards either. Size could potentially play a factor. And Michael Chandler's a southpaw, which Conor McGregor has historically proven to fight better against. Now, again, this is just all my opinion. Like, what the hell do I know compared to Henry Cejudo, an Olympic gold medalist, a former double champ? Like, what do I know compared to this guy? And so, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, of course. I also think that if you were to compare Leon Edwards to a potential fight with Islam Makhachev, yes, Leon might be an easier fight than Islam Makhachev, because Leon's just not that kind of grappler. He's not on that level. However, I do think that would be interesting. Conor versus Islam might be more tricky for Islam than people might come to realize, because Islam is not as ferocious on the ground as a guy like Khabib. When Khabib gets on top of you, he's smashing you. He's getting through your guard. He's standing over top of you. He's wailing on you. Islam's much more patient. He's much more calculated. And that sort of style could kind of actually benefit Conor McGregor more. But then again, these are all just my thoughts. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Let me know what you guys think of this article. Let me know your guys' thoughts of everything here that Henry Cejudo said down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more. Peace!